All right, so welcome to another episode here. We're going to take a look at Etsy today, and we're going to evaluate it here as it's been pulling back quite a bit, and the pattern of what's happening is starting to complete, so you might find it interesting. Stay tuned. Keep in mind, none of these are recommendations to buy, sell, or trade stocks. It's just my own personal opinion. So as we hop on over to Etsy, if you don't know what Etsy is, it's basically a kind of a arts and crafts store. People do their own thing. Like, I might make a craft, design some kind of, quilling gifts, wedding gifts, that kind of stuff. And as you have, all these different handmade things, Etsy gets a cut. So as you buy things, whether it's wood, leather, that kind of stuff, they get a cut. So anyways, Etsy, picked up a lot of speed during the pandemic. And as we keep going through coronavirus, people are looking to make some more money on the side. So this is always kind of one of those things, that's going on and happening. So let's take a look at it here on the longer time frame. You can see this stock has been trending very well since 2016 overall. And when you look at this pattern here, you've got the A to B, B to C, C to D pattern that's already actually completed on the longer time frame and scale. So this is pretty good, and good news from this stock's been doing very well. But now the issue is that this stock could also pull back here as it's completed this kind of longer term pattern. And that's kind of what we're seeing here recently as we go into kind of the weekly time frame. You can see we've had a long consolidation or somewhat sideways pattern. The stock broke out a little bit recently, and now it's been pulling back. So this has been kind of, if you were in this for 2021, it's really been nothing but sideways until you got that little tail end breakout at the end there. So as we look even more recent, here's the daily. And this is where a little bit of the problem starts to lie in the stock, is that recently the stock's been pulling back quite a bit. And this could create a buying opportunity if you're kind of interested in the stock or getting in it at lower value, because here we have an A to B, B to C, C to D pattern that's also been created on the shorter term. So again, think about it. We've got the ABCD pattern on the long run that's kind of completed, which means usually we get a pullback or sideways consolidation. But now we've got a shorter term ABCD pattern that's also been completed. So now the question is are we going to start coming back up? You do have some bearish volume here, so this is not good, but it could start to die out. So if this starts to die out and now you start building in some bullish volume, this could be very good news. Because normally after these patterns complete, right, so you have the A to B, B to C, C to D, once these patterns complete, something new happens. Either it goes sideways or it goes the other direction. In this case, it would be to the upside. Now, it could follow through for more continuation, bouncing here and then rolling over here. But this stock, if we look at the longer term picture, it's really been trending to the upside. Now, yes, the trend has been kind of at this angle. So looking at this angle right here, it has a good chance that it could pull back even to this level, because this trend and the angle that we're moving on is kind of right here, like at this angle, which is what, about 30 degrees or so, if I measure it. Not precisely, but if I take a look at it, there's your angle. And we do have a chance for that to pull back. And there are some other critical support levels, right? When you get to a little bit under that $100 level, you could get into this other level over here, but this is looking at the longer term. Right, so if we zoom in a little bit further here on the daily, there's this critical level right here that you want to watch on that shorter term, where really is a nice, probably good buying opportunity for this stock. Now, right now, you could buy it a little more aggressively on the ABCD pattern that's being completed. But on the other hand, you could also look at it from saying, okay, I might also wait or nibble a little more if it gets down to 160. So those are a few of the key points that, I'd be watching if I was looking at this stock, is that right here, this one right around 160 is one spot to watch. And it is kind of completing that pattern. So this is also looking fairly okay at about 180, but it might be a little more early and aggressive. So again, it just depends how aggressive you want to be on it. Normally for a stock that keeps heading down, you don't want to be the trying to catch a falling knife, as they say. So you would nibble your position a little bit. So you start nibbling a little bit, then building up that position over a course of maybe a week or 2 weeks or 4 weeks, depending on how slow or fast that stock is moving. So If it continues to move down, you'd slow down your acquisition and buying shares. If you normally buy, 100 shares, you would maybe say, okay, I'll buy like 10 right now. And if it keeps going down to 160, I might buy another 10 there. So now you got 20% or 20 shares built up. So you could do it kind of with this approach logically. So from this perspective, that's kind of my thoughts on this stock. I have no idea where it's going to go. I'm just looking at, hey, what are the levels? And from the technical levels here, we're kind of getting to this bottom part of this ABCD structure. So it's starting to look like a possible candidate for a little more upside, at least even for a short-term bounce to maybe retest different levels at around 130. I'd probably trade this with the option spreads of like the 50-50 spreads or vertical spreads. For the upside, you could do diagonals, that kind of stuff. I probably wouldn't do any non-directional trades like iron condors on it, only because those spreads, are a little more sensitive if the stock does rip to the upside or to the downside. And right now, from the highs, you're a little more overextended, right around about 40% on the downside. So you've pulled back quite a bit from the 300. You're down to about 182. That's where you're looking for. Maybe that's why there could be a buying opportunity, because it's extended, not because of all the other reasons. It doesn't really matter that they got this or this or this or this going on. It's really, are buyers going to step in? And if buyers step in, then the stock will go a bit higher. Anyways, I hope that helps, gives you some support resistance levels to look at and things to think about. Truly appreciate you sticking with me on the channel. Check out the other channel that I have if you're serious about trading options, because that's where more advanced traders go. But other than that, thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next episode.